Please welcome to the stage the Master of Ceremonies, Mike Muse.
Oh, what's happening? How'd you guys enjoy your break? Was it good? Had some good coffee, some tea, feeling good? Feeling enthusiastic, feeling engaged, feeling excited? Yes? All right, so good morning, Concordia. Good morning. Oh, let's try this again. We did this the first time. You guys know who I am. Good morning, Concordia. Thank you so much. I wanted to warm you guys up because we have a fantastic panel coming up next. And the moderator, Caroline, I've been chatting with her backstage, and she is what I call a hoot. So you guys are thoroughly going to enjoy her. And this panel, I think this one is so important. It is Building Sustainable Urban Futures Through Climate, Tech Innovation, Entrepreneurship. This panel will explore the initiatives that are shaping robust entrepreneurial ecosystems and accelerating sustainability to create resilient urban centers. Please welcome to the stage your moderator, Caroline, Scullin, and our esteemed panel.
Good morning. Since Mike's already given you the title of our panel, and it's up there, we can just proceed into some of the background. And welcome. I encouraged all my panelists today, not my panelists, Concordia's panelists, to breathe. It's not only one of the sub-themes of building a sustainable urban environment, but it's UNGA week and it's very busy. So I think we all need to just take a moment and understand that we're in this wonderful time of dialogue and discourse. Today in this broad discussion, we're going to touch on strategies for leveraging climate tech, public-private partnerships in driving urban innovation, addressing diverse needs across all of the residents and their diverse residents in Sao Paulo, in Singapore, in Santo Domingo, and the global impact of smart city solutions emerging from these ecosystems. In prepping for today, I used what the late Senator John McCain would say, the Google machine. And I Googled smart cities. And here's what came up. The concept of a smart city is broad, but in general it means you integrate technology to remove the negatives of daily life. Marry that Herculean idea with the growing trend of urbanization and city population growth, and we have the tableau for our discussion today. So, please meet our panelists. Tom Law, founder of IBRA Work and an award-winning expert on smart cities, who also represents the largest legal entity of Brazil. Jingxin Zheng, who leads the Singapore Economic Development Board's operations in the Americas, supporting international companies with accessing opportunities in Asia via Singapore. And Mayor Carolina Mejía, the mayor of the city of Santo Domingo, known for her innovative leadership style, fostering resilience, and the first female mayor of the capital city in over 500 years. Brava. Welcome all. I'll go through and ask each of our panelists a question, and then we'll do some group questions. Tom, as cities work to implement smart city solutions, how does IBRA Work ensure that its innovations are inclusive and accessible to all residents, especially those from marginalized and underserved communities, so that no one is left behind in the transition to smarter and greener cities?
Thank you, Caroline. First of all, I want to say hi to our panelists, Carolina, Jay. Say hi to friends that invited us to New York, Sam, Doug, and also Samantha, and my wife, Anna. In answering your question, Caroline, through our IBRA Work. Our IBRA Work is an open hub of open innovation in São Paulo. And we do the collaboration with the public sector, with the universities, and with the civil society, organized society in Brazil. So through this union, through many discussions that we have in our Smart City Council, we also have the participation of the Secretary of Climate Changes of the city of São Paulo. And I think it's the only secretary in the whole Brazil that deals with the advocacy of climate changes. So leading with the underserved communities of Brazil, we also have many programs. a program called No Hunger with the City Council of São Paulo, together with the City Council of Culture. So we understand that to bring the people to these smart city solutions, we have to transform the people. Not only like investing in buildings or in the architect, but also making that those people have trainings, that they could also have the access for new technologies. And that is what IBRA Work does in Brazil, giving the entrepreneurs of these underserved communities also opportunities to participate in hackathons, in accelerated programs, and they also participate in international fairs, such as Web Summit in Lisbon, that they know like it's Portuguese, so it's easier to speak Portuguese. In Dubai, also we have many events in Dubai, and also other parts of Brazil. So we are doing this work with many entrepreneurs, and it's working, and also with the public sector, because with the public sector, we discuss smart cities bringing international benchmarks, Sam, from Spain, such as Professor Joseph Piquet, that he is the professor of La Salle Tecnova, and he is the one that created the smart cities in Arroba 22. So this is good for Brazil, and now in the city of São Paulo, we have a law that is the planning of the urban city of São Paulo, with a new article, Article 198A, that deals with this environmental investments and green economy and smart cities.
The lawyer in Tom just came out. Carolina, under your leadership as the capital's mayor, how is Santo Domingo embodying the practical ideals of a smart city beyond pure technological advancement? And what is your vision for the capital's future trajectory?
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be here, Caroline, with you and Dr. Lo and Mr. Zheng. Well, we have found 4 key factors that we can share. First of all, the community engagement, the sustainability initiatives, the data-driven decision-making, and the resilience planning. When we talk about community engagement, it's because people are the center of our policy design. And we have very interesting programs where we, by fostering discussions, we try that our responsibles are specifically for the needs of our people. For example, we have a program that is called La Alcaldía Llega a Ti, like the city hall comes to you, where we move with all the directors and coordinators of the city hall and go to the neighborhoods and listen to the people explain what are their needs on a daily basis. And that makes us, gives us the opportunity to solve the situations in a short term. And then the sustainability initiative, we've been able to invest in green infrastructure in the past 4 years, an important amount of money, thank you to the private sector. We have recovered more than 180 parks and plazas, and that impacts immediately in people's well-being and in the environmental health. And then the data-driven decision-making, we have a municipal observatory. And in the observatory, what we do is we catch the data, we analyze it, and we're able to give responses to the people and to their problems specifically. And then the resilience plans, which are one of the most important things, because our city always needs to improve the way we react to the challenges that we face on a daily basis. For example, the climate change that we were talking before coming in. We have done some plans with some international institutions, and we have a great challenge because of the urban growth, specifically about modernizing the comprehensive waste management and the drainage system.
Thank you for highlighting public-private partnerships. That is certainly one of the core themes of Concordia, so we're so happy that it has come to the fore. Jay, Singapore is often seen as a global leader in urban innovation, particularly in balancing economic growth with stability. How is the Singapore Economic Development Board fostering an entrepreneurial ecosystem that supports climate tech and smart city solutions in Asia? And what lessons from Singapore's success can be applied globally?
Thanks, Karina. It's a pleasure to be here. I will speak on smart cities from an economic development realm. And I think the foundation of this is that we believe that economic development or smart city solutions can coexist with sustainability examples. And I think Singapore is a shining example of this. We believe strongly in public, private, as well as the social sector coming together to do this. And I will just explain it in three main thrusts, right? So the first thrust of our plan is really in decarbonization, taking the carbon out of the system, right? And we work with the largest emitters in Singapore. We do have a big energy and chemical sector that we need to decarbonize. But at the same time, we also work with new companies like Neste, is a Finnish energy giant, to produce sustainable aviation fuel in Singapore and leveraging Singapore's position as an aviation and aerospace hub in Asia Pacific to at least have the offtake and the demand for there. So that's decarbonization. The second one is about catalyzing a green economy. We work with the most promising climate tech startups. Many of them are here actually in Concordia, as well as some of the parallel events this week. We help them and we support them in R&D innovation work, take advantage of the talent in Singapore to come up with new innovations, be it carbon capture utilization or CCU, be it in terms of synthetic biology, SynBio, or even the hydrogen economy. And the last pillar is actually on carbon services. Maybe somewhat a more contentious topic these days, but we believe that Singapore has the potential to allow companies access to high quality carbon credits from credible nature-based solutions within the Southeast Asia region. And many of you know that Southeast Asia is actually home to 25% of the source of nature-based solutions that could potentially help to abate unavoidable emissions as the last resort.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to do a question to the group, and we'll go from Carolina this way. Building climate resilience in urban centers is a complex challenge that requires not only innovation, but also community engagement and inclusive governance. What role do you see for city leaders, policymakers, and entrepreneurs in ensuring smart city innovations align with specific needs and values of the communities they serve?
Well, actually, what we've been working specifically, I have to go back to the private sector.
Great.
The private sector, it's been a key factor for our improvements. I was talking before that, not like you, we have a budget that we have to handle the best way we can with so many needs. And the private sector has played a unique and incredible role on allowing us to do things to make the well-being of the people possible. So as mayor, I think we have to invite and be trustable and accountable in our processes so we could keep doing things together. If you ask me, the transformation that we need, Dr. Lowe was saying before, we need to transform people, and I think we have a great tool to do transformation. And it's basically do it with passionate, with love, and with trust. We need the private sector to keep working with us based on trust and accountability.
Wonderful. Jay.
I love to pick up on what Caroline mentioned about budget. We do have a carbon budget because Singapore has committed to a net zero target by 2050. And when Singapore says we do it, we will do it. We have done the math back end that we can get there, right? But just to answer the question in two realms, right? One is I hear a lot of this term called climate anxiety when I was here yesterday. And I think for the people, for the local community, it is about, they are impacted by climate change, be it sweltering heat, be it typhoons, hurricanes, we spoke about that at the backstage. And I think one of the things that Singapore is doing is that we're spending US $70 billion over the next 100 years. And we have committed to that, to build coastal protection innovations, and we will work with the private sector companies with the most promising technologies, be it from the Netherlands or elsewhere in the US, to do that. So that's one aspect of it. And actually, the other way to actually engage local communities in the most effective manner is about catalyzing a green economy. Because it's about jobs, it's about growth. For example, we are currently living in a world where primarily we live on a molecule, right? We consume and we produce molecules. Tomorrow, we will be producing and consuming more electrons. And helping the local community see how do you make that shift from one that's molecule-based to electron-based is important, because jobs are at the crux of what people would buy in, would believe in, because it gives them a decent salary that you can live on. It gives them the value. It values their skill sets in which they work on things like CCU, Symbio, hydrogen, be it electric vehicles. And last but not least, jobs give them meaning, that they can actually contribute to the greater good. So that's, in short, how I would see it. Yeah.
Great. Tom.
I'll give 3 examples in Brazil, Caroline. First of all, the example of insights in the Brazilian Congress Parliament. It is important to them to have this overview of smart cities, green economy, and it's happening now with President Lula, because he has a program of new industrialization in Brazil, so he's welcoming many investors to come to Brazil to invest in green economy, and Brazil has a lot of land, a lot of opportunities. And the second, they are investing more now in infrastructure. So they want to have not only the Atlantic side, but they want to invest also in the infrastructure to the Pacific side of Latin America. So in my opinion, this will give more opportunities to jobs, opportunities to training engineers, and also the whole society. And my second example, it would be for relating to the communities through the engagement of the city mayors. They should also have these international benchmarks. So I would say that going to Spain, coming to New York, that would be really interesting to have these exchange programs between our leaders in Brazil and the leaders of the whole world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we're going to go to a lightning round. The same question again, and it's kind of a generic lightning round, but I think it's applicable here. What's the greatest challenge you face right now in your position? Let's start with Jay.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest challenges we face is that there is no single silver bullet in this climate transition journey. One of the things that we try and overcome this biggest challenge is that we try to provide clear and consistent climate policies. Because that's, just now this morning, someone talked about uncertainty is the biggest enemy of investments, right? And I think Singapore, what we try to be is a beacon of trust, stability, reliability, where we give long-term certainty to companies as well as the local community. And we will do it in many ways. I can cite some quick examples. One is we are the first nation in Southeast Asia to impose a carbon tax. It is politically very unpopular, but we believe that this signaling to the companies and local community is that they need to decarbonize, they need to speed it up because it's not fast enough, and they need to invest in low carbon solutions. We have other things like mandating climate disclosures, which helps to improve transparency. Again, that leads to encouraging adoption. And last but not least, we do have a strong government support for companies, especially in the climate tech space, to invest in R&D and innovations and allow them to actually scale these solutions, not just within Asia Pacific, but globally.
Great. Carolina.
Actually, as I was saying, the climate change, it's a big challenge, and the rapid urban growth, it's also a big thing, a big threat that we have, that we are working with. And as I said before, we have been working plans with some international universities that are willing to go to Santo Domingo and accompany us, planning how we're going to respond, how we're going to make it easier to go back, how to be more resilient, that it's a must. Because as you know, we are an island and we have been impacted by climate change pretty hard in the last few years. So we're focusing on that. Of course, we need a big investment from the central government too, but also we need to keep working. What it's a good thing and a positive thing that I see It's that our willingness to work all together, government, private sector, the municipality. And I think it's a matter of trust, and we have to keep working on that.
Thank you. Tom,
I
30
think
seconds.
in our case in Brazil now, for the city of São Paulo, is the elections. We have elections now, and that's a big problem because we have also many things going on and many projects with the public and private sectors. So what I think is important to Brazil is more long-term contracts with public and private sectors. And I think that will be the biggest solution for like the private sector helping the whole society.
Wonderful. Our time has come to an end, and I want to thank our panelists. I want to have two takeaways: no silver bullets, and the importance of public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
Please join me in thanking our panelists. And thank you all for being with us.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.